To do a basic push-pull, there are a few controls we need. And so let's take a look at the keybinds for spectator mode. The ones we'll need here are the static camera binds, which are by default 1 through 9. Also modify FOV, which I've bound to the V key. Also move slow, which is here. I've bound to the middle mouse button. And then the zoom in and zoom out, which by default are mouse wheel up and down. The zoom in, zoom out in particular has different results depending on when you use it. That's kind of the key point here in this video. So let's start by talking about just adjusting the free camera movement speed. And you can do that just with mouse wheeling. So I'm using ASDW to move around. And if I mouse wheel up, you can see this becomes faster, and I can get it down quite a bit slower if I want as well, just by dragging mouse wheel down. However, this only affects the translation speed of the camera, not the pan and tilt speed. This here, also this. To adjust that speed, we have to do a different technique. There might be a better way of doing this, but so far the only way I found to do it is to use the mouse wheel when transitioning between camera presets. So to set a static camera preset, we press the move slow bind and then a number to assign the current location to that preset. So move slow and then 1, for example, and then let's push up here and say move slow 2. Now if I press 1, camera goes back here to 1. If I press 2, camera comes back here. Now, while the camera is moving between these 2 points, and without having issued any other controls, so if I press 2 and then mouse wheel down, notice that that movement slows down. If I go back to 1, you can see it's still pretty slow. And if I mouse wheel down further, it gets even slower. One thing I will point out here is that you can only use this technique if you single tap to get to the location. If I static camera, if I tap it once, it moves at a certain speed. If I tap it twice, it moves quite a bit faster. You can't use the scroll wheel to adjust the transition speed after you do a double tap, only a single tap, so keep that in mind. Okay, so now let's go all the way back here. And now that I've slowed this down, my pan and tilt is way gooier than it was before. Okay, so that's interesting already. But what I want to show you here is that the field of view, actually let me go back to where it was before just so you can get the difference. I'm going to speed this back up again, back to something like normal. Yeah, that's roughly maybe a little bit even faster than normal. So before I do that, let's look at the field of view change. This is sort of a newish keybind, I think. So if I hold the V key down and I mouse wheel up, it zooms in. Okay, pretty neat, except you can see it chunking. These are my individual mouse wheel scroll steps. Another trick is that if you're zoomed in and you double tap V, it goes all the way back out to the maximum field of view. Which, by the way, is a little bit wider than you get if you hold V down and you scroll all the way back. So that's all the way back scrolled, and if I double tap, it still comes out a little bit further. Okay, so the default field of view change looks roughly like that, okay? So let's slow this back down again. So transition, scroll down, go back here again. That's probably about slow enough, I think. So let's come all the way back out to our starting position. Now if I hold the V key down and I scroll in, ooh, yes, indeed. Right? So all that's left now is to issue a double speed move back to the first point and then double tap V at the same time. And there's your push-pull.